So I wanted to make a video talking about my worst mistakes in my first year of trading. Not really my first year of trading overall, but my first year trading ES futures using order flow. I definitely made a lot of mistakes in my first year, but all my mistakes kind of boiled down to like three main points. And those points are breaking my rules, veering away from my strategy, and then also not having a clear enough strategy. So I'm going to go in deeper to all three of those in this video, but there's definitely sub points to each of those. So in terms of breaking my rules, whenever you get into trading, everyone's like, all you got to do is follow your rules and you'll be good. And 1 year into this, I can definitely say that the only unprofitable months that I've had trading is when I would basically break my rules, and that was like a common theme throughout the month. I definitely 100% agree with, if you just stick to your rules, that is really what this game is like fully about. As far as breaking my rules, the rules that I had trouble with a lot of the times were, in the beginning, I will get stopped out of position and I will immediately want to re-enter. Like, I'm talking within less than a minute of stopping out. That was a common mistake I made. I did that a lot and I lost a lot of money by just re-entering the same trade instead of letting my thesis validate itself or whatever it is. And that also kind of goes hand in hand with not having my stop loss at a proper place that invalidates my trade thesis. In terms of breaking my rules, that is definitely my biggest problem. I guess it would be like a over trading type of issue. But I never really did too much revenge trading, but I definitely had 2 or 3 days in the last year where I fully, like, they call it tilt. I'm sure a lot of you are not new to this lingo, but they call it tilt, and you basically just like have zero control over yourself and you just trade your account all the way down. And I definitely did that like 2 or 3 times, like in one day, where I'm telling you, like, it's embarrassing, like 6 to 12 trades in a row of straight losers. And like, you guys are not new here, you know that I document everything good and bad, so you have seen me talk about those days. But like I said, it all comes down to like just not being able to stick to your rules because of the desire to make money. That's like the root cause of all of these. But yeah, breaking your rules. If you're a new trader, I would say sticking to your rules is like the easiest thing you can do to put you a lot closer to profitability than you think, probably. If I had to go back in time, I would just make my entire trading about sticking to my rules. Like, that's all I would focus on doing from the beginning. But yeah, so stick to your rules for sure. And then the next two topics I want to add to this are steering away from your strategy and also not having a clear enough strategy. So I could definitely say for myself, my strategy, I was not as clear on my strategies in the beginning or even like a few months ago as I am right now. And so, like, you guys know by now, I trade order flow, right? So I have 5 trade setups that I actively watch for every day in my playbook. And they all have entry criteria, but I legitimately just put those setups with entry criteria in my playbook in the last month. And a lot of you guys watching this are going to be like, that's crazy that you did that a year later. And I agree with you. But it's funny because I always had the setups, like, I had them in my playbook, but the entry criteria was not clear enough. And it would basically just lead me to a little bit more confusion. And like, it would lead me to putting entries on where I was more unsure than like, oh, my entry criteria has happened, I need to put a trade on. So in the last year, I've had profitable months, I've had unprofitable months, all trading the same general way. And all of my setups in the last year were all based on absorption related setups. or they were based on a large participant defending price. But I never had really like clear entry criteria like I do now. Like I actually have things that I look for that tells me to put the trade on now. And the reason why I said that is because there were things that would happen. Like if I saw absorption occurring, right, instead of waiting for like a lot of volume or like a lot of effort to come in and like test the absorption that I was seeing, I would just enter right away and I would give it like a 4 point stop, which might be enough. But at the same time, what if the absorption I'm seeing is not, what if it doesn't cause a reversal and then I just take a loss because instead of waiting for like a retest or waiting for an aggressive push of volume to like validate it further, I never did that. So not to say that I was entering with like no way of identifying an opportunity. Like I could definitely see when things were setting up, but there was not like, I wasn't clear enough on when I should actually enter. So that's something I've been working on the last like month, and I've gotten way more clear on that. And I'm just like, it makes me feel so much more confident in what I'm seeing on the order flow, because I'm like, I know what to look for, I know what I want to see, and I don't enter if I don't see it. So that's a big thing that will cause you a lot of losses if you don't have a clear entry strategy. Have the clear strategy, and then also the last point that I'll make is veering away or like steering away from your trading strategy. So like I said, my strategy wasn't clear enough in the last year, and that would kind of cause me to do things that would cause me to make bad decisions that I shouldn't be doing. Like one example of this is, all right, so I remember this one trade to give you as an example where I was like 1.5 trades away from passing my evaluation in terms of like my average winner. So probably like if I was to put it in ES terms, I was probably like 15 points away from passing my evaluation. And I remember there was this one trade where I got a good entry on it. It was a legitimate like setup, but I was legitimately like, I was emotional and I didn't want to give the profits up. So instead of waiting for an actual target that had significance, I just straight up took the trade off at VWAP because it was like an emotional decision. Like that's all I could say about it. And I took the trade off and I was in a profit, and then I was very close to passing my evaluation. And then right after that, I was like, oh, like we'll probably get a pullback from VWAP. Like completely there was no validation there was no reason for me to do that. And I entered a short, like immediately, just hoping to get like a quick, like 3 or 4 point move off of VWAP. And I'm not going to sit here and justify that, but like you could see why that could possibly happen. But it was like fully like a gambling decision. Like it was an emotional decision. And just like I was steering away from my strategy in the sense where it was like, if you have a strategy, like, you should be exiting at points that actually matter. And it was really funny because obviously I stopped out on that trade, and then ES ripped like, it was like another like 10 or 15, maybe even more points higher. And I was like, geez, if I would have just had a proper exit, or if I would have just had like held on until I seen a reason on the order flow to like let it go, I would have passed my evaluation. But I didn't pass my evaluation because I got emotional and I made these stupid decisions. But so yeah, veering away from your strategy that in the first place isn't clear enough definitely hurt me. But easily, like no doubt about it, the biggest one was not sticking to my rules. And if you take one thing away from this video, I would say that is the thing to take away. Like, have your rules, stick to them, and that will put you a lot closer to profitability. Because if you have a strategy that is a 40% or 50% win rate, but your R your R multiple on all those trades, or you're averaging like a 3 or a 4 or even like a 2.5, that's a profitable trading strategy. So the biggest thing is being able to execute it properly and knowing exactly when you should and shouldn't be like entering or exiting. I guess those are like the main decisions in a trade. But I hope you guys took some value from that video, and I will catch you guys in the next one.